What we need to make sure is that these people who behaved in these appalling ways feel the full force of the law of the land.
The next thing I knew, I was being yanked by my hair as he took my ponytail in his fist.
Started raining batons onto us. I knew he didn't have his glasses, so he needs to be protected and guided. So I was holding my hand over his head to try and stop baton hits.
Had they not been caught on the cameras of the world's media, we would never have been able to prove their innocence, and they would have gone to prison. End of story.
History has so often been rewritten about those moments in the heat of battle. And this is one such case, which threatened to ruin the lives of 2 students had they joined the ranks of others convicted of violent disorder on these streets nearly 5 years ago. But what was condemned by all, including the Prime Minister, as an attack on the police has turned out to be anything but that.
You can't even be seen in that picture at all.
The Hilliard family has fought hard for today's outcome. £50,000 in total compensation and recognition the boys should never have been arrested. Their ordeal stems from this moment, captured on the day of the vote on tuition fees, when a police officer was seen to fall from his horse. Other officers piled in with their batons.
I can remember hearing my brother be struck with batons while we were on the ground. It was thuds. I mean, it was quite traumatising to hear it, but it was not a pleasant sound.
At one point I heard a baton hit to his head, so I was holding my hand over his head to try and stop baton hits.
The assumption was the boys had pulled the officer off his horse. The Prime Minister was later quoted as saying, anyone who dragged police off horses and beat them should face the full force of the law. But at trial, footage emerged of the mounted officer yanking Christopher Hilliard by the hair just before he fell.
We were told by our lawyers that the likelihood of us being found not guilty due to the number of police witnesses was extraordinarily low. It's only due to the fact that we were able, with our mum, to put together a lot of data, a lot of video footage for the trial, that we were able to be found not guilty.
Today's compensation deal and complete exoneration follows an apology in which police expressed regret for the boys' distress. But it's not enough. The family believe they are also owed an apology from the Prime Minister.
Do you think he owes an apology to your boys?
I think he does. I think he does. I think there was an assumption of guilt. You know, there were a number of officers there who clearly turned around and saw the boys engaging with the officer on the horse and made assumptions. Natural thing to do. Cameron did the same thing. He made an assumption that these boys were guilty. They had not been tried.
Downing Street tonight refused to comment. No officer has been subjected to disciplinary proceedings.